the Atharvaveda, hymn 1944. 10 verses. Thou art the lengthening of life. Thy name is universal cure. Then ointment, send felicity. Waters, send happiness and peace. The yellow hue, the feverish heat, the shooting pain that rends the limbs. All the consumptive malady, let the ointment drive from out thy frame. Let the salve born upon the earth, benignant, giving life to man. Make the swift rider on the car sinless, exempt from sudden death. Preserve our breath. O vital breath, have mercy on our life. O life, from snares of Nerete, do thou, O Nerete, deliver us. Thou art the babe of Sindhu. Thou art lightning's flower, wind, breath, and sun. Thou art the eye and milk of heaven, God's ointment from the three-peaked hill. Preserve thou me on every side. No plants of earth surpass thee. None from mountain or from cultured ground. Now hath it gently crept within, fiend-slaying, chasing malady, and driving all diseases hence, and evil omens banished them. Full many a falsehood thou, O King Varuna, man hath uttered. Here, do thou, who hast 1,000 powers, preserve us from that misery. If we have cried, O waters, cows, if we have cried, O Varuna, for this, endowed with 1,000 powers, deliver us from misery. Mitra and Varuna, O salve, have closely followed after thee. May they, when they have followed thee afar, restore thee for our use. And certain substances or other such means do have their time and place, but let's remember to include our spirituality in the processes of our physicality, including medicine. Hymn 1945, 10 verses. As debt from debt, repay and send sorcery to the sorcerer's house. Split, salve, the cruel villain's ribs, whose evil eye bewitches us. Whatever evil dream we have, what error befall our kind, our home, be this that is salubrity. The evil-hearted's foe applied, increasing from the water's strength and vigor, sprung into life from Agna Vedas, strong as 4 heroes, mountain-born, this ointment make for thee quarters and mind points auspicious. On thee is laid the Chaturvira ointment. Let all the regions give thee peace and safety. Secure like precious Savitar thou standest. To thee let all these regions bring their tribute. Make one thy salve, thine amulet another. Drink one, and with another bathe thy body. So let the Chaturvira keep us guarded from the 4 bonds of Nerete and Grahe. May Agni protect me with fire for inspiration and expiration, for strength, for energy, for vigor, for weal and prosperity. All hail. May Indra protect me with his Indra power for inspiration and expiration, for strength, for energy, for vigor, for weal, and prosperity. All hail. May Soma protect me with Soma power, for inspiration and expiration, for strength, for energy, for vigor, for weal, and prosperity. All hail. May Bhaga, with the good fortune, protect me, for inspiration and expiration, for strength, for energy, for vigor, for weal, and prosperity. All hail. May the Marutas protect me with their troops, for inspiration and expiration, for strength, for energy, for vigor, for weal, and prosperity. All hail. And I'd probably better say inhalation and exhalation, but it's important to have this idea that if people are working against us with their wrongful magic, well, that's returned to them, right? Hymn 1946, 7 verses. For manly strength, Prajapati, bound thee on first, invincible. As for long life, on thee I bind for splendor. Strength and energy, invincible, let it guard thee well. Erect, invincible, be this man's watchful keeper. Let not the Pandas or the sorcerers harm thee. Shake off thy foes as Indra scattered Dasyus. Quell all enemies, invincible, let it guard thee well. Indra hath lent the power of sight and a vital breath and strength to these, whom even 100 combatants striking have failed to overcome. Invincible, let it guard thee well. Around thy limbs I place the mail of Indra, who hath become the god's imperial sovereign. Again, let all the deities bring thee hither. Invincible, let it guard thee well. 1 and 100 manly powers, 1,000 lives hath this amulet, unconquered ever. Go forth the tiger, strike down all thy foemen. Let him who would oppose fall low beneath thee. Invincible, let it guard thee well. Drawn forth from butter, rich in milk and sweetness, 100 lived, 1,000 homed, bestowing vigor, kindly, delightsome, full of sap and mighty. Invincible, let it guard thee well, that thou mayest be preeminent, slayer of rivals, rivalists, may Savitar cause thee to be chief and controller of thy kin. Invincible, let it guard thee well. And when divinity has decided that something is going to have the power, none can take it away from it. I mean, as far as what those terms for those powers that divinity has prescribed are going to give. In 1947, 10 verses. Night. The terrestrial realm hath been filled with the Father's power and might. Thou spreadest forth on high unto the seats of heaven. Darkness that strikes with awe comes near. Each moving thing finds rest in her whose yonder boundary is not seen, nor that which keeps her separate. O spacious, darksome night, may we, uninjured, reach the end of thee. Reach, O thou blessed one, thine end. Thy 99 examiners, O night, who look upon mankind, 88 in number, are 77 are they, 66, O opulent, 55, O happy one, 44, and 33 3 are they. O thou enriched with spoil, 22 hast thou. O night, 11, yea, and fewer still. With these protectors guard us well, O daughter of the sky today. Let not a fiend's spiteful man, let no ill-wisher master us. Let not the robber seize our cows, nor the wolf take our sheep today. Let not the thief, O blessed, seize our horses, nor the she-fiends our men. Let thief and robber run away on pathways most remote from us, far from us. Let rope with fangs far from us, let the wicked flee. Do thou make blind and headless night the serpent with his pungent breath, crush the wolf's jaws in pieces, strike the robber dead against a post. In thee, O night, do we abide, we here will sleep. Be watchful thou, give thou protection to our kine, and to our horses and our men. Now, I wonder about the aspect of using the bornless right as a curse. But the thing that we focus on here is if the digits are the same number, it's considered auspicious. But, it just kind of sounds better in a way. So I understand how that came about. Hymn 1948, 6 verses. Then all that we accumulate, all that the treasured chest contains, all this do we entrust to thee. Entrust thou us to dawn, O Mother Night. May dawn entrust us to the day, and day to thee, O splendid one. Whatever flying thing be here, whatever thing that creeps and crawls, whatever fastens on a joint, therefrom do thou protect us, night. So guard thou us from west and east, protect us from the north and south. O splendid one, preserve us, we, the singers of thy praise, are here. They who are followers of night, and they who watch over living things, they who protect all cattle. They keep watch and ward over our lives, over our herds, keep watch and ward. Verily, night, I know thy name. Dropper of fatness art thou called. Thee, Bharadvaja, knew as such be watchful o'er our wealth. And so we need to admit that darkness, the negative, the night, whatever, has its value, not to moralize that in itself. Hymn 1949, 10 verses. Friend of the home, the strong and youthful maiden, night, dear to Savitar, the god and Bhaga, all-compassing, all-glorious, prompt to listen, hath with her greatness filled the earth and heaven. Over all depths hath she gone up and mounted, most mighty one, the sky's exalted summit. Over me now the loving night is spreading with her auspicious godlike ways, like Mitra, excellent, highborn, blissful. Meet for worship, night, thou hast come. Stay here with friendly spirit. Guard us the food for men that we have gotten, and all prosperity that comes of cattle. With eager haste hath night assumed the vigor of leopard, tiger, or of tawny lion, the horse's neighing, and the wild man's bellow. Thou takest many a form when thou appearest, kind through the night, be absence of the sunshine. Mother of frost, may she be swift to hear us. Take notice of the hymn, thou highly favored, wherewith I worship thee in all the regions. Even as a king, O splendid knight, thou takest pleasure in our hymn. May we, through mornings, as they flush, have all our good men round us and become possessors of all wealth. Yes, Samya is the name thou hast assumed. The men who fain would spoil my wealth do thou annoy. O knight, that not one robber may appear, none may a second time appear. Thou like a well-wrought cup, O knight, art lovely. Thou, a young maid, art formed in perfect beauty. Thou lovingly, for me, with eyes to see them, hast bound on thee heaven's stars as thine adornment. Whatever robber comes today, mischievous mortal enemy, let night go forth and counter him, and smite away his neck and head, his feet, that he may walk no more, his hands, that he may do no harm. The robber who comes hitherward goes crushed and mutilated hence. Go hence, goes far away from us, goes hence, and bears no spoil away. Now, one of the things that we should always look at with curses and stuff like this, that it's in the context of keeping people from doing wrong. But we don't have to, make the prayer to the person, because there is some of that, I bind you, like they're talking to the person that they're binding, Now, if they face them and say something, I bind you by such and such that I'm actually praying to while I'm saying this, right? Hymn 1950 is 7 verses. Blind him and make him headless, night. The serpent with the pungent breath strike from his head the wolf's 2 eyes, and dash the thief against a post. Those oxen that are thine, O night, with sharpened horns and rapid pace, with those transport us safe today our difficulties everywhere. Uninjured in our bodies may we pass through each succeeding night, and let malignancies fail to pass, as men without a boat the depth, as millet hurried through the air before us is beheld no more. So cause the man to vanish, night, who plans to do us injury. The thief hast thou kept far away, the robber, driver of our kind. Even him who, having covered up the horse's head, would lead him off. If dealing treasure thou hast come today, O highly favored knight, cause thou us to enjoy it all, so that this may not pass away. Do thou entrust us to the dawn, all of us free from sin, O night. May dawn deliver us today and day to thee, O glorious one. And one of the things that we do in our sacred formulas is, yes, we want this or we don't want this, but we direct it to the eternal.